Mm-mm.
Hey, 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 welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 249. 249. Mike, tomorrow's the big 250. It was supposed to be today. However, we did take a unofficial vacation to finish out the week last week. There was some issues here at the studio with some equipment. Hopefully, we got a lot of that taken care of.
Yes.
Everyone is a little under the weather, but you know what? That really wasn't the reason that we weren't here. It was more or less a lot of the these stupid issues. But we're back, everybody. Today is 249. Tomorrow, Mike, is the big 250, baby.
Oh, 250. Who would have
250.
who would have thought after episode 11 that we would make it this far?
You're right.
Like I didn't. I thought the show was done, buried. But we came back. We're like Geno Smith. You
We're
can't keep us
resilient.
down. Yes, we are resilient.
I
Not
remember one
cannot
day
keep us
last
down.
winter. I think it was somewhere right around Christmas time. Not this past winter, Mike, but the winter
Mhm.
before. I had texted you and I said, "Hey, man, are you feeling it? Do you want to try to And this was after the 11 show fiasco, and you said, "What do you got in mind?" And here we are, Mike.
Yeah.
We are 250 shows in. Considering there are a bunch of extras on there, I would say that we're closer to 270.
Yeah.
Working on our internal way to 300, Mike. It's getting there, my man. It is getting there. It is getting there. It's a big year for us. 2023 is a big year for the two dumb Yinzers.
It is, man. We are flying high and fly, or something like that. Flying high.
Yes, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Mike, a whole bunch of things have gone on since the last time I seen you. Of course, the last time we were on
Yes.
was Thursday. Thursday, and that wasn't a happy day. Neither was Wednesday either. We had all kind of issues with the cameras and sounds, and it was enough to make one go crazy. So we have a lot of stuff to go over, Mike. A lot of stuff, a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, man. There's a
Uh,
little bit of news happening all over the place.
we got a little bit of news. I would agree with that 100%. For starters, Michael J. Fox wins the slam dunk contest. We'll
Who?
get more. We'll get more into All Star Weekend in just a moment. There's a lot to be said about this All Star NBA All Star Weekend. We'll get
Yeah.
into that. Also, my new crush. My new crush is the XFL. We'll talk more about her as the show goes on. But first, I want to ask you a question. What does
Yes.
Cardi B? What does Cardi B's wet ass pussy and cheeseburgers have in common?
Apparently, they're both tasty.
I guess that's not a wrong answer, but the
I
correct
don't
answer
know. I don't know.
is just this. These are two items that she is peddling, Mike. Of course, in her music, she sings about her WAP. And I went through the drive-through at McDonald's the other day, and there was WAP on the poster board for advertising. It was a couple's meal for Valentine's Day, apparently. And
Yeah.
I don't know who the gentleman was, but there was a
Neither do I.
gentleman, and there was Cardi B, and
Hmm.
it's a meal for two, and it's apparently supposed to be for a couple to share this meal.
Yeah.
In the gentleman's pushing the quarter pounder, Cardi B's pushing the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a funny connection. I don't know. I thought to myself, of all the people in the world to push their product as a fast food company,
Yeah.
going after the wet ass pussy lady was an interesting
Hey.
take. I necessarily don't have anything wrong with her. I like her, as a matter of fact. But just from a marketing standpoint, I thought, boy, this is an interesting pickup.
It is, but we're how far? We're a ways away removed from the whole everyone acting outraged about the WAP. So now's the time to do it. You don't have the hate pushback about people. Oh my God, how can you have that for the children? It was Valentine's Day and it was perfect because just enough people remember the WAP, and I think it was perfect branding, perfect marketing for both of them.
To be honest, who's not thinking about WAP on Valentine's Day, right?
Exactly.
Maybe get yourself a little cheap meal and go back to the house and
Yeah, like if you're a straight guy and you don't think about WAP, that's if you find that offensive, that is on you.
yeah.
Look, everything's gone to shit now.
Well, that's
We, t-
odd.
we talk about WAP, and then the computer goes to shit.
Hey, you know
Maybe your
what?
computer
I'm
doesn't like the
not
WAP.
even gonna let it get to me, Mike. Just don't even start with me, okay? We're
I'm
gonna
not.
continue forward because we do have wheels in motion to ultimately fix the system to where we're not gonna have any problems at all. And you know what? That's coming. It's coming. It's gonna be here any day now. So I am refusing after this past week of headaches and nightmares to get upset about this. I probably went on more about it than I should have last week.
A little bit. I chuckled on the inside.
However, you know what? We're gonna ride with the storm because you know what? If I can get 98% of good video, I'm gonna roll with it today. You know,
Just roll with it, man.
it's Monday.
That's all you can do.
It's motherfucking Monday. My pen says so.
It is motherfucking Monday.
Also, while we are talking about the pop stars, Mike, before we get rolling today, now you gave me the update on the halftime show with Rhianna.
Yes.
You failed to mention that she sniffed her crotch. Now, this was something that I found very interesting.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was
she literally digs her fingers down into the side of her puss lips, basically, and she pulls it out and she raises her fingers to her nose and she sniffs. Like she appears to, when she does, sniff her crotch. Now, and here's the thing: this isn't what the show is about, but I could see you getting all wound up, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or maybe, and don't get me wrong, I understand this goes back way back, Madonna, all the way back in the day. But these pop stars, should they cool their jets just a little bit? Being that, again, it was McDonald's, it was the Super Bowl. Is there a level down that some of these pop stars can take to take their game when doing these more mainstream jobs?
No. No, this is what they do. This, and then that's why they got the job. This is like, I'm sorry, that's like, I don't know. You're hiring someone, their whole body of work, and then you're gonna tell them, no, you can't do this. That's stupid.
I've never known Rhianna to be a crotch sniffer, to be honest with you.
I've never seen any of her shows. Just maybe she does do this.
I mean, it may be something that you would think would be her. You know what I mean? I know about the WAP. I'm not totally out of it. I just never known. I never knew Rhianna to be a crotch sniffer. Which, again, at the end of the day, I'm not upset. Right? I'm not against that or her.
No.
I just think to myself, is there another level? Is there a level down that some of these pop stars should be taking, Mike?
No. If you don't like it, people got a clicker in your hand. You can turn the channel. I want to see it on my TV, but apparently what I want to see doesn't matter. What the people don't want to see is what matters. I want to see Rhianna sniff her crotch. So I want more of that on my TV. Why are my views not just as good as everyone else saying, oh, I don't want that on my TV? I want Rhianna sniffing her crotch on TV.
Well, because you're a fucking maniac. But here's the thing, 90.
I'm a normal person.
And I don't know what the numbers are, but I would think it's a high number of people that go through McDonald's parking or drive through would have kids in their car. You know what I mean?
But it didn't say WAP. It just said Cardi B and someone else.
Is it a case of maybe pulling in? Because here's the thing, you're not bringing these people in because they're nothing. You're pulling them in for a reason, and and there was a lot.
Yeah,
it's marketing, of course.
Yeah.
And when these kids, they go home after they get their Happy Meals and they get on their iPads and they type in Cardi B because she has this really cool promotion at McDonald's, and then they come out in the living room singing about their wet ass pussy. That's not an issue.
That's not an issue for me. My kid came out singing wet ass pussy. I'd be like, turn that shit up, B. Let's jam.
Yeah. And when the thing is, me too, don't get me wrong. I'm not demonizing this. I'm just saying it seems like there could be a level down, perhaps.
P's right. McDonald's is going to sling those burgers no matter what. And you know what? If it takes a wet ass pussy to sling some more burgers, I'm all for it. Advertise. I'm all about And you know what? F them kids. I don't care like what other people's kids are exposed to. That's what time for parents to step up and parent.
Way to relate to your audience, Mike. Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. I have my kid. I love my kid, but fuck my kid's an asshole. I look at my kid all day long and I go, fuck them kids. Yeah. Fuck them kids. And parents know what, like, it's non-parents who, when they hear fuck them kids, that get offended. Parents know. Like, yeah, F them kids. My kid's a devil and he's 4 years old, so F them kids.
All right, I guess we can move past your degenerate ways and move on.
Oh, I'm the degenerate on the show. We don't
Facebook
have to.
is Facebook, Mike, is to start rolling out Meta verified, following suit of the Twitter verified scheme, to
Uh-huh.
where they're going to charge you to be a verified account.
Yeah.
They have us all pulled in. People are going to do it because we've become addicted. It's getting rolled out this week in Australia and New Zealand. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, you are able to verify your Facebook account today. It's going to become in other countries soon. I imagine it will be not too far down the road. What do you think about the verification, Mike? The verification of Facebook?
I that, you have to pay for it. It's so stupid. Like you used to have to like meet certain metrics and requirements to be verified. And now this is just a cash grab. They're finding
It
out
is a
more
cat.
ways. He Zuckerberg probably saw what's going over on Twitter. People willing to pay that $7.99 to get that little blue check mark. So now being verified on these two platforms is meaningless now. This just means you're willing to pay the money to be verified. Like before,
That's
you
what I'm
had
saying.
you
There's
had to meet
nothing.
requirements to get it. Now me, I can go on there now and just put my name up there and pay my $7.99, and now I have a blue check mark, and now like I am boosted in the algorithm. That makes no sense. It
Yeah.
makes no sense. You used to have to meet certain requirements, and now like I don't know if Facebook's doing it, but Twitter's doing it now too. You have to be part of. You have to have that blue check mark. You have to be part of Twitter Blue to be eligible for two-factor authentication. So now it's easier to get your account hacked if you don't pay for it. So they're paying for security. They just want more money. They're going to find a way to do it.
Absolutely.
And people
You're
are
better
going to
off not
buy
even
it.
going on these things,
And people are going to buy it now too, because everyone wants that cloud of, look, I'm verified on this platform. Okay, well, that now that everyone's verified for $8 a month, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
You're right. It only opens the door, I think, Mike, for something big to come along, such as another kind of another social media group platform that could come out and possibly say, here you go. Here's Twitter and Facebook in a nutshell, and you don't have to pay a dime into it.
Yeah.
I think that opens the door for a new platform to come along and become the top dog. I just think at some point people just might say, fuck this shit. I'm not paying
the
scroll on Facebook. That's insane.
It is. Everything about these two platforms is getting more and more ridiculous. And there are other platforms coming up. They're smaller platforms that are trying to be the counter to Twitter, counter to Facebook. But you know how hard it is now to get people to want to move from one to the other. You know, it did happen with my God, what was the one before Facebook? MySpace. Yeah, then you have the mass exodus over to Facebook. So it's going to take something bigger and better than Facebook.
I'm still waiting to be able to play my music when you come on my Facebook page. I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll 12 see years later.
Yeah, I still see like tweets and Facebook posts of people going, like the younger generation going, wouldn't it be awesome? Like if you came onto my page, you had like my own music playing and everything, and people like all
like a wrestler, heads. You have your own
theme music. Like all of us old heads are going, hey, welcome to MySpace. Welcome to the late 90s, early 2000s.
I do want to address one thing P had written earlier, and I want to make this clear, P, and anybody else. If Aerosmith was on stage sniffing his crotch, I wouldn't be cool with that either. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know. It's nothing about the musician herself. It's just more or less what this has become. And but like I said, if Aerosmith was up there sniffing his crotch, and like I said, I'm not against it. I'm not against Cardi B. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Michael. I guess we could do one more before we start. You think?
Yeah.
Did you hear this? Now, this woman, she, I don't know if you caught this, so bear with me.
Okay.
She was in a nail salon. This was a TikTok.
Okay.
And this woman, she was in a nail salon, and it was, the Chinese type. And she's in there, and the Chinese are talking, and their TV's on, and it's all Chinese. And she sees on the TV while she's getting her hair or her nails done, what appears to be talking about dinosaurs or something or other. So she asks the Chinese lady who's doing her nails, and she says, "What's this all about?" And the Chinese woman says, "Oh yes, China discovered uncharted land that has dinosaurs on it." Did you catch this?
No, I did not.
And and the woman is like, "You got to be kidding me!" And she, no, we're not kidding. They're dinosaurs. And she's going on talking about all these dinosaurs that were, however, This happened a couple days ago. As far as I know, there's been people on TikTok, there's been people online, social media talking about this, and mostly people think it's crazy.
Yes.
And the reason I think it's crazy, a couple reasons, obviously,
Okay.
but the one guy who did a video, Mike, said that he's done all the reasons. He went in everywhere. He went in the Chinese media as much as they let
Yeah.
you know. Of course, they don't let you know
Yeah.
everything. And they, and he looked into everything and in the news and Chinese news, and nowhere could he find anything about this uncharted land that China might have discovered dinosaurs on. So I think ultimately it's false.
Yeah.
But is there a chance, Mike, just somewhere out there, that this could possibly even be possible?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Well, like with science and anything like that, you can't say with 100% certainty, but like
Right.
99.999% certain. Yeah, dinosaurs don't exist. If you want to see a dinosaur, look up at the sky with the birds flying, go find a chicken. That's their closest relative. There's your dinosaur. They are. They're their closest relative. So in that sense, yes, dinosaurs live, but no. It's cool to think that would be awesome if they somehow survived. But you imagine how inbred that population would have to be. Because it was like 65 million years ago they went extinct. It was when they first started dying off. So to be inbreeding for 65 million years, you'd have to be some hideous fucking chuds.
Well, they weren't exactly beautiful to begin with. And another thing that somebody made in the comments of one of these threads that I was going down was, we basically, nobody's ever heard a dinosaur make a sound. We've created the sound which we believe it sounded. What if the dinosaurs were real high pitch? You know what I mean?
Okay.
We see these big, huge monsters.
Yeah.
We imagine, but could you imagine if they were,
Well, okay, so this is kind of funny. Like Michael Crichton wrote a book called like Timeline. It was about people who just developed time travel, and they went back in time, and they went back, and there's George Washington huddled up in a blanket crossing the Delaware. Abe Lincoln was given the Gettysburg Address, and like you said, like the dinosaurs, different voice. He had a high pitched squeaky voice. So we don't know what happened in history, but that would be kind of funny if we were able to find preserved enough fossils and stuff to where like their vocal, I don't know, like they have vocal cords or whatever they had, to where we can push air through to see what kind of sound they would make. And if it comes out totally weird, that would be fucking badass. Because you would think the T-Rex, this big dominating thing's coming out, you
wouldn't imagine it would sound like Michael Jackson.
Like or coming out sounding like Urkel or some shit.
You're right.
No, that would be awesome. Well, speaking of, real quick, just to go on another tangent here, they did. There was a mummy that was preserved enough to where they were able to blow air through the vocal cords, and you were able to hear the sound of the voice of the ancient Egyptian, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
Dinosaurs somewhere under the Arctic. You know what? Marvel Comics were, when they were doing cocaine back in the day, they had some great storylines. That's all I'm going to say.
And all I want to say is, if anybody is reading through our live chat board, there's only one person on this show that uses the term bee's knees, and it is not me. So just keep that in mind as you follow along.
I don't know who you're talking about. I have not typed on the keyboard yet.
Mike, the Penguins lose ground since the last time we talked. They lose 2 games. Wow. They come back finally. You know what? We might as well go back out west. We're doing so much better out west. We usually complain about going out west. They go out there, they win some games. They come home. They go up to Long Island. Mm-hmm. They lost Friday night to the Islanders 5-4, and then they went on the back-to-back nights. They played the Devils at home on Saturday. They lose that game 5-2. Mike, they have the Islanders again tonight at 7:00. You have to start thinking that some of these games are must-win games for this Penguin team. It can be taking a bad turn. It can be taking a bad turn fast, huh?
Oh, very, very bad turn fast. And I think they are in danger of missing the playoffs. This team, they have no direction. No, like they still do the same things over and over. They still play the same way. You get a lead, and then they give it up within like 30 seconds to a minute 30 later.
I've never seen anything like it.
All year long. They get a lead, and then it's gone. Get a lead, then it's gone. Get a lead, then it's gone. They can't hold a lead. They don't know how to play situational hockey. This team is in. I don't think they make the playoffs.
You know what?
That
This team does
that
not look like they should make the playoffs at this
no, they don't
point.
deserve a spot at this
Let me
point.
ask you this though: say you get Jari back in the net and he's
Yeah,
healthy, and we start winning some games. Does it start changing your mind, or I mean, is it?
no,
To me, I think this Casey DeSmith thing is turning into a bit of a problem.
it is a problem, but I don't think. No, the way the team is playing in front of the goalies, it is bad. Because if you're not going to play defensive hockey in front of your backup goalie, that shows that you're not even going to attempt it when your starter's in there. Like they're going to leave the goalies even more out to dry once Jari gets back. It's this is a joke, man. That this team is more or less the same team that lost last year. They
Where's
brought them all
GM
back.
at? Where is Ron Hextall, Mike? Is this
That
guy ever gonna? Is he ever gonna do anything?
I don't think he is. And
I
I was
can't take
reading,
it with this guy.
yeah, like, and I was reading an article today by Josh Yohe in the Athletic, and he was saying he echoed the what's Hextall doing, but also what's the ownership group doing? They were bought out by I think it was FSG ownership group. And okay, so what do they want? They obviously want a championship. You're not going to, they spend over $1 billion for this team, but what are they telling Hextall to do? And then what is Hextall doing? It like this between the new ownership group and Hextall, they haven't done anything except bring back, the big three. And after that, you sign Jeff Carter, who has a no movement clause. So guess what? We're stuck with him. He's one of the worst centers in the league right now. He's done. He's washed. There's nothing for this team to do. This team needs to shed salary cap space to try and to make moves to try and get better. But to do that, you're only going to get younger players who probably aren't going to be as good as the ones you're sending out. And are you going to do a complete rebuild after you just re-signed Malkin and Letang? Like you have your big three, and they don't count that much against the salary cap. And you have people like Jeff Carter and Kasperi Kapanen eating up cap space and not doing a damn thing. It's a joke.
I'm starting to agree with you, Mike. At the beginning of the season, into the season, and halfway through the season, I said this team will be okay. They're usually inconsistent.
Uh-huh.
They win a bunch, then they lose a bunch, and then they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And whatever happens beyond that happens beyond that. But as time goes on, and there's games that I'm thinking, okay, well, if they win this one, we'll be okay, and they lose. If we win this one, we'll be okay, and we lose. Tonight, Mike falls in that category. Like I said, we're back on the East Coast. You had the Islanders Friday night, the Devils Saturday night. Here we are on Monday night, 3 games in 4 days. We have the Islanders again. It's almost like, all right, if they win this one, we might be okay. But Mike, I'm losing confidence fast.
I am too. I don't think this team. I don't think they make the playoffs. And if they do, it's another one and done situation.
Right.
And right now they're either going to have to play the Boston Bruins or the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, that's not a good proposition to be in because, oh my God, right now I think we're playing the Hurricanes if the playoffs would start today. And look out, they skate us off the rink all the time.
Yeah.
Then if we fall into the second wild card spot, we're playing Boston, who's like the best team in the league right now, at least the best in the East. I'm at a loss. I'm truly at a loss with this team. I never thought I would be this disappointed with a team that has Crosby, Malkin, Letang.
Yeah.
And it's not those three. My God. I wasn't, a big fan of bringing Gino back. I love him. He's one of my all-time favorite Penguins, but, he's hurt. He was always hurt in that. But now this year he's healthy and 20 some goals already this year for a player at his age. That's impressive, racking up all those points. Letang has been effective when he's in there. Crosby's Crosby. So the big three are doing it. It's everyone else. It's from,
I mean, you got to have
it's
a supporting
everyone
cast. You
everyone
have to.
on down. And
the way hockey is, it isn't like other sports. I mean, you have a line of guys, they come out for a minute and a half, and then they're off the ice.
45 seconds.
So the person that comes in to spell you on the next line, they have to be just as effective as you were to create a consistent play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't go out there and be real consistent and then have the next line come out and be garbage, and then have the next line come out and be okay. And then so this team, they're not hitting on any cylinders, Mike. And like I said, a lot of it to me comes back to the goaltending. He's bad. He's been really bad. But at this point, we have no other options.
There's no goalie depth, which is just comical because we know like Jari can play, but he has injury concerns. So you think you would have a better backup than Casey DeSmith, There has to be better people out there. Like,
And who's that guy that backs up the Smith? He's no,
Tokarski. Yeah, he's
yeah,
a but like once you get down to your third goalie, that's an issue.
yeah.
But you should have someone who's like almost starter capable as our backup because we know Jari has injury concerns. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't know. This team is frustrating, man.
Tonight, Mike, Penguins, they host the Islanders at home, 7:00. Do the Penguins win this hockey game tonight?
No,
All
they
right.
do not, and the free fall continues.
I thought once they came out of the break, they were going to be good. They came out, they were 3-1 out the cut, and then they went and they lost these last few in a row, and now I'm starting to be concerned.
Yeah,
I thought the break might have been all they needed, but apparently not.
No, it's bad, man. It is just whew. They can't put wins together. They can put losses together, but they can't put wins together.
So there you have it, everybody. With the Islanders tonight, 7:00. Mike, Saturday also we had a big basketball game. The Pitt Panthers took on the Virginia Tech Hokies. I thought maybe we could win this one. There's a lot of talk. Why isn't Pitt ranked? Why is this? Why is it that? This team is ranked. Pitt's not. Blah 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 blah. Well, this game, Mike, it stopped that conversation. I'm not saying that the Pitt Panthers are any less than what people were saying that they were. I'm saying that they're still good. I'm still saying that they're dangerous. But I'm kind of glad that this loss happened just to kind of, who knows what the reason was. In the quad fives, the quad fours. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you're beating everybody and the teams in the top 25, like team 22 lost to a team that I never even heard of before, yet they still stayed in the top 25. I mean, the whole thing's kind of messed up. And what I'd said was you just have to keep winning. It doesn't matter about these ranks. If you're focused on what it is you want to do and you want to win basketball games, you just have to keep winning.
Yeah.
And stop worrying about those kind of things. And anyway, they lost to Virginia Tech. It was a good game. And I tell you what, that Virginia Tech is not a bad team. They lost 79-72, Mike. That drops the Panthers out of first place. They dropped down to third place.
Yeah.
And that now puts us in a position we're going up against Georgia Tech tomorrow. Georgia Tech comes to Pittsburgh to the Pete to play us tomorrow. I think this is a game we should handily win. But we're down to 4 games. After Virginia Tech, you have Syracuse, you have Notre Dame, and then you have Miami to finish out the season. So, say what you will. There is a little wiggle room taking that loss. But on the other hand, you're still sitting in a pretty good position, in my opinion.
They are. If they win these next 3 in a row, do that. That's the first thing. Win those 3 and go into Miami on a winning streak. And then if you pull off the upset, that's going to be huge. But if you lose, and if it's a close game, I don't think that's going to be that much of an issue.
I agree. But you're right. You do have to win these games. I mean, this next game against Georgia Tech, it's a big game. And, we're saying, okay, but you lose to Georgia Tech and then you lose to Syracuse, then you start having problems. So they have to, number one priority, just win the game.
Yeah.
And then there isn't any indication this team is concerned or complaining or going on and on about why we're not ranked. A lot of times it's the fans, and that's understandable. That's what we do. So, tomorrow we got to get this win. I know the Pete's going to be packed. They're already talking about it. Get down there to the zoo is encouraging people come down to the Pete. They have a big game tomorrow, Mike. Like I said, once the Georgia Tech game is over, you have three basketball games left in the regular season.
Ooh, that's well. Right now, I just checked it. Even though it was only updated 3 days ago, Pitt was still a 9 seed in ESPN's bracketology.
Right.
So it hasn't updated yet after this game, but it will in a few days. I think they're still going to make the tourney. It's going to be where they just have to win out.
I was reading last night.
If they lose against Miami, they should still be good.
I agree. And I was reading last night that they're right around a 10. I think that's where somebody believes that they're going to be after this. So, like I said, I mean, they're still in a good spot, but you gotta win, and they know that they're a good team.
Yeah.
I just one step at a time. Let's beat Georgia Tech tomorrow. That game, everybody's at 7:00 tomorrow at the Pete. Check it out. Probably I'm going to assume that it's on the ACC network.
I can't remember.
Mike, my big crush, the big story of the weekend. The XFL, everybody. Yes. Now, if you haven't yet got excited, let me read a couple names. If you haven't got excited and you didn't check out the XFL, you might have missed AJ McCarron. Who? Yes, AJ McCarron, the 2-time national champion in college. The what was he? It was a high pick by Cincinnati.
He wasn't that high, but
He was good. He was a starter anyway. He was, you would have seen him. Josh Gordon, the speedy returner receiver from Cleveland, you would have seen him. Martavis Bryant, who was a receiver that I thought the sky was the limit for, who played here for Pittsburgh. Paxton Lynch, Brett Hundley, Ben DiNucci, Matt Elam, Marquette King, and Brad Wing, Mike, are all notable names. And being from the area here, there's certainly a lot more names that you recognize. You see the coaches and the coordinators and referees, and you recognize everybody. I love this. I love it. And for the people who sit back and go, well, it's not as talented. It's not. Oh, yeah, I know, but it's football. And if you want to watch football, don't sit around and complain that you don't have football to watch. These guys are the 54th man on the NFL roster. Any one of these guys could potentially be in the NFL soon. That's what a lot of these guys are working for. They want to get into the NFL, and they're using this league to springboard, themselves into that position. So, I mean, these guys, yes, they are on the lower end. It would be the guys that are, that didn't make the NFL team, but they are just out. And some of these games really showed it. Some of these games didn't, Mike. Let me give you a rundown. The Orlando Guardians, they lost to the Houston. Let me go in order.
Okay, yeah, go in order.
So Rod Woodson, the very first game of the weekend, Mike, was Rod Woodson was Saturday afternoon. Of course, we all know Rod. He spent 11 years of his career here in Pittsburgh, the All-Pro cornerback. He is coaching the Las Vegas Vipers. Now they lost, Mike. They lost their game, I do believe. I think it was 22-20, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't have the scores up. If you give me one moment here, I am on ESPN, and I should be able
22-20. They lost to the Arlington Renegades, which was a good game. I watched that one. It was kind of slow paced, but you know what? I didn't know. What do you expect for game one, for week one, game one? Then the game Saturday night. Now these guys, Mike, these Houston Roughnecks. If you're looking for the team that has it most together at this point already after 1 week, I would say watch the Houston Roughnecks. They really were able to throw the ball around. They were able to do what they wanted to do, and they beat the Orlando Guardians 33-12. And then Sunday, Hines Ward, another name that might be familiar around these parts. He's coaching the San Antonio Brahmas.
Yes.
Now this game, he had one. It was 15-3. San Antonio was winning 15-3 over St. Louis. The St. Louis Battlehawks. And St. Louis managed to score, I believe, how it went down, Mike. I don't know because of the ways they do the extra points.
Yes, I remember this.
You walked into the studio. I was doing some work, and we watched this for a few minutes together. And the St. Louis Battlehawks ended up winning that game 18-15.
Here's how. Can I explain?
Please do.
So they score a touchdown. And then in the XFL, you can go for a 1, 2, or 3-point conversion. They went for the 3-point conversion. And this thing was a dart in between a couple defenders. Boom, 3-point conversion. Then you can either choose to do an onside kick or have 4th and 15 from your own, either 20 or 25. I can't remember which. They convert the 4th and 15, go down, boom, touchdown. And then they go for like a 1-point conversion. I can't remember I think they missed that, but then they kick off and then boom, game over. It was wild. It was how fast they were able to come back. And I like these rule changes, man. It was fun. It was exciting football, man. It was just exciting sports to watch.
Mike, and of course, both of the Steelers, ex-Steelers, they lose their first games in this first week because Hines Ward's team, San Antonio Brahmas, did lose 18-15 in this game that Mike just talked about. But what a long way from the days of he hate me.
Yes.
Back in XFL 1, they tried to change the rules a little bit and make it a little bit different. And back then, it just wasn't time. Yeah. Because right now, when I'm watching him, I'm thinking these rule changes are amazing. Again, what Mike was talking about, if you score a touchdown, you either have the option of taking, you could go for an onside kick, or like Mike had said, you get the ball on your 25-yard line for a 4th and 15. And if you convert, you continue to have the ball. So basically, you get the ball back as you would have on an onside kick. However, if you don't convert 4th and 15, the other team gets the ball right there at your 25-yard line, putting them in a good position to do so. I think it's amazing. Do I think it should be in the NFL? No, but I think that this is something that gives XFL its own flavor, Mike.
Yeah, it does. I wish I want to see. I would like to see that kickoff, how they do the kickoffs and the punt. in the NFL because you have
It's interesting.
more chances for returns because the NFL they move the ball forward. You can't do the wedge anymore, make it safer. Well,
Hmm.
this right here, it makes it safe. It's safer. Both teams lined up 5 yards away from each other, except for the kicker and the kick returner, and neither teams can move until the player catches the ball. So therefore, there's less speed on the blocks, less chance of you're eliminating impact for concussions, and you're giving more returns, more exciting returns instead of you're just having touchbacks. I like that. I would like to see the NFL adopt that rule or keep everyone lined up 10 yards away, but you still can't move until the ball's caught by the returner or it's on the ground for 3 seconds.
And
One of
also
those
the
things to make the
punt.
returns and punts are the same way. I love the gunners
If
can't
it
move
goes
until the ball's
out,
caught. I love it.
if it goes out of bounds inside the 35 yard line, apparently the team that's receiving gets the ball at the 35 yard line, no matter where it is. And it's all to encourage the return, which the NFL, kind of started to do away with. And their argument was always injuries and keeping players healthy, which I'm not against. Believe me, I don't want to see these guys get killed. But on the other hand, you take away from the game. I like these adjustments, Mike. I like these changes that the XFL makes.
Yeah.
And you know what was really cool? The 3 owners, the Rock, the chick Danny, and the guy, they were at every stadium. And granted, it was only 4 games this weekend, but they were at every stadium for every game for this weekend. I thought, you know what? You gotta respect that. You know what I mean? They're really behind their product. And one game they're in Seattle, one game they're in Texas, one game they're so I like it. I hope it does well. It was doing very well in XFL 2 just before COVID came around. And I would like to see it continue to do well in XFL 3 because I got to say, Mike, I am a big fan. Let me finish up the games. I did still have one more to get to. The Seattle Sea Dragons, which is going to be hard to get my tongue used to saying after saying the Seattle Seahawks for the first 45 years of my life. But the Seattle Sea Dragons with quarterback Ben DiNucci, who, of course, who was a standout here in Pine Ridge High School nearby, and also a Pitt Panther quarterback briefly. He did start the game last night. He threw a shuffle touchdown to Josh Cribbs to take the lead. And unfortunately, the final count on that, Mike, was the DC Defenders win that one, 22-18. But none of these, the games were entertaining. They get you in the locker room. Even on the replays where they're doing challenges and things like that, you could now watch the guy in the booth pull up all the videos and see which ones he's looking for and explain what it is that he's doing when he's putting videos together to see 2 different things at the same exact time. It was really cool. He calls down to talk to the main referee. It's cool. You get to see all that locker room, halftime, coaches talking, everything like that. You get to see all of it. So it does have a lot of advantages and a lot of things that the NFL doesn't have. But if you're just into football, if you're into football and you love the game, that they give you, there's extra, there's bonus for you to enjoy in the XFL.
I like it, and I that's something else I wish the NFL would do. I want to see what it looks like up in New York where they have those replays.
Yeah,
I want to see that. Like you said, that transparency. And one thing I did like too is how the XFL openly embraced that people were betting on this game. They had the over under going on the bottom, and even the announcer said, like, oh well, if you had the 3.5 over, you're kind of kicking yourself in the teeth. You're kicking yourself because they didn't convert on that 1-point conversion. You missed out. I like that. Embrace that people are going to bet on your games.
Maybe with Rhianna sniffing her crotch in the NFL, maybe the XFL will have like the 2 Live crew. Now like a bunch of naked chicks running on stage. See, now I'll dig that.
Oh, there's something wrong with you.
So that was my love of the weekend. Like I really invested time into the XFL this weekend, and I am not upset at all. I'm excited. I can't wait to watch next week.
You're not. You know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I want the XFL. I support you and your new love of the XFL.
Now, something that I was disappointed from over the weekend. And you got to excuse me. I'm still trying to regroup from whatever the hell I had about 2 weeks ago. It keeps coming and going. I can't get healthy.
You can't get healthy. That's not good.
Anyway,
that is not good at all.
The thing that upset, I think it didn't really sit well with me this weekend was the NBA All-Star fiasco.
The festivities.
The fiasco-tivities it was in Utah. They had, yeah, which I generally love. I generally love the NBA All-Star break. I love the slam dunk contest. I love the 3-point contest. But you know what? It's almost as the game itself as the NFL's. It became stupid in my opinion. Talking about, I mean, you know, and how we said when nobody's really tackling each other. I mean, if you're against them not really playing that great a defense in the NBA, do not watch this All-Star game. I literally see 5 guys stand in one spot as players dribble right past them, and it was a show. It was a show, and if that's what you want, that's all right. And I'm not against the show. I'm just kind of going in suit of what we've been talking about, these All-Star games. I lost it this weekend. I lost a little bit for the NBA. It wasn't great. It didn't wow me. I mean, both teams had about 900 points.
Yeah,
LeBron was, it was just, I don't know. Tatum had 55 points. He was the MVP.
Yeah.
Like I said, Michael J. Fox won the slam dunk contest.
That would don't be hating on Mac McClung. That was awesome, dude. That little dude he has some ups. He's no Vince Carter. Well, come on now. That was fun. That was exciting. Like that slam dunk contest and the celebrity game was the highlight of the weekend. Yeah. That celebrity game was more exciting than the actual All-Star game.
Yeah.
You had DK Metcalf out there just balling out. My man's out there like, hey, my Seahawks can't make it to the playoffs this year, but I'm going to, show people what a freak athlete I am. That was fun to watch. Miz hitting that 4-pointer after the buzzer went off. Come on now. That was perfect, especially for him being the heel that he is over in wrestling. He should have cut a scathing promo right after that shot when they disallowed it. Would have made that even more exciting. But that part was fun. The actual game itself, no one cares about the game. It's all the stuff around it. And so that slam dunk contest and then that celebrity game, that was the highlight of the weekend.
Yeah. See, I wasn't into it like that. I said, I was kind of let down. And I think it was because I had such high expectations because I've always loved the slam dunk contest, and I always loved all the festivities that they have at the All-Star game. Mike, I couldn't get into it, and like I said, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. It seems like the only people that's doing the All-Star weekend, the All-Star events right anymore is Major League Baseball.
No, you sound old.
I am old.
You know what? I'm gonna flip over something that P wrote that just made me laugh. Talking about we were talking about Rhianna in the halftime. He goes, the XFL is going to have some SoundCloud chick with an OnlyFans to make ends meet. That's going to be their halftime performer, and that's what I want. That's what I want. I want some SoundCloud chick who has an OnlyFans to be the halftime performer, and I will be there front row to watch that. I will spend my $5.95 to see this happen.
We get to see some titties.
I want to see what some OnlyFans chick that's doing SoundCloud or whatever, what her halftime performance for the XFL would look at. I would watch that. I would find that entertaining. I'll have the whole family around to watch that shit.
So with that being said, I felt the NBA All-Star Weekend was a bust. I thought the XFL was a big win.
XFL was a win.
I like Cardi B. You know what? And here's the thing. And maybe I am old because I loved the halftime show last year. Yeah. Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg. I mean, that might have been my favorite halftime show yet. I don't want to see Justin Timberlake.
No.
I don't want to see Rolling Stones.
God, no.
I mean, who's cool is cool. I mean, it doesn't come down to anything else for me besides who. But I don't know. Last year was my favorite. Does that make me? I think that makes me my age.
No, that makes it, because that's more our age, our wheelhouse. For us Gen Xers, those people right there. Rihanna's like we're outside of her age demo, but I still like her, and I was still entertained by it. I thought it was a good halftime show.
Also, Mike, we got some big news. There's interest now, and maybe some talks about possibly Mike Evans, the wide receiver from Tampa Bay, joining Deontay Johnson and George Pickens in Pittsburgh. Do you like this? Do you like the sounds of this?
You mean future Hall of Famer Mike Evans
Yeah.
joining the Pittsburgh Steelers receiving corps? I would take that.
Um,
And what are we gonna have to give up to get him though?
they're
That's the
probably gonna have to
thing.
give the soul of our firstborns, but it will be worth it, right?
Oh yeah. Now I see who's out here. Oh, this is from our buddy Filipponi throwing ideas out there. That's actually not a bad one to throw out there. I would not be opposed to having Mike Evans on this team.
Absolutely not.
He's one of the best receivers in football today, and he's one of the best receivers of all time. He's a damn good player. Remember when he came out of college, watching him. Yeah, I would love to love to have him on this team.
I think somebody like him would really help our offense along for
Yeah.
many reasons. I mean, the guy, I mean, he has monster numbers. He has mad experience. He's won Super Bowl.
Mhm.
You know, for our quarterback, young guy, he could help that area, and he could also take some targets away from the guy on the other side, which I would have no problem with. And you know, if that would come to fruition, I would be thrilled with that as well. But
Yeah.
you know as well as I do, it's that time of the year where we are throwing
Oh,
big
yeah.
names out there and kind of
Mhm.
seeing how they stick. I would like the Mike, and I think, you know, as far as completing that receiver core,
Yeah.
that would be it. You would have your Mike Evans, you'd have Deontay, George Pickens, Terrell Austin, and then either, you know, Sims and I can't think it's Boykin or not Boykin, but
Yeah, we still have Boykin there. Boykin will be around because he was a valuable special teamer.
yeah,
He's filling into that Darius Hayward Bay type role.
right. So Mike Evans,
Evans, he has
also,
a huge cap hit though. It's 23 million this year, but then in 2024 it drops down to 12, 4, and 2. So okay, you get through this year and next year, get 2 good years out of him, then his dead cap space turns into like nothing to where if you have to get rid of him where he declines, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I would love to get him, but it's going to have to be for the right draft pick.
absolutely. And then also, Mike, um, big talk, big talk, big talk. The Steelers are expected to hire Aaron Curry as linebacker coach from the Seattle Seahawks.
I saw that.
Do you have any inside information on Aaron Curry? I don't know very much about him. I know he was a good pick. I know he was you know, they say a lot of good things about him, but you know what? I don't really pay attention to assistant coaches much. You know anything about this guy?
I actually I do not. Unfortunately, I saw it. I read the articles about him, but you know, I will take it. Anyone who has experience at that position, let's bring him in. You know, we have openings on the staff. You know, that's the role that Mike or Brian Flores filled in the linebacker spot. So let's bring this guy in and see what he can do. He's been in the, you know, he's played in the league. He's a younger guy, 36, so he can relate better to the players. You know, I want to see what he can do. Let's bring him in.
As far as defensive positions, coaches, things like that. Another one, Mike, that I just seen was Rex Ryan. Do you recall? You remember Rex Ryan? He
Oh,
just interviewed over in with Sean Payton for the
yeah.
Denver Broncos defensive coordinator job. Rex Ryan. I didn't think I'd see that name popping back up in the
No.
coaching circuit, but there he is, Mike. We could possibly see him this year.
I was never a big Rex Ryan fan. Everyone is
No.
like, he just seems like that. He just seems, I don't know. There's something about him. He seems like a scummy guy.
Yeah.
Not that he has a foot fetish. That's here, neither here nor there.
Very Mark Madness to me. I don't know.
No, I just never was a big fan of him. He just seemed like that guy. I don't know. There's something off-putting about him. He has a used car salesman vibe.
His
to
teeth.
him.
He has like
once he got his teeth did.
It's a huge. It's a used car salesman smile. I think is what it is.
Oh,
like, as shallow as that is, I think that's what it is.
I think that's what it is.
A couple other things in football. Let's see where was what I was looking for?
God. No, I'm lost now.
Oh, okay. No, we were talking last week about the you know, the Ravens possibly losing their 2 biggest stars with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Queen. Somebody threw this out there in Miami, down in Miami. I don't even know what it was. It was some media outlet. Somebody says, what about a Lamar Jackson for Tua trade?
Oh, you know what?
I would rather go up against Tua 2 times a season than Jackson, to be
Mm,
honest with you. I wasn't overly thrilled with Tua. I just wasn't. I wasn't. There was nothing in
yeah,
the game when we played against him that he thrilled me. And you know what? Throughout the season,
yeah.
I was not over thrilled with this Tua.
No, no, like we should have won that game. We should have had like what 4 or 5 picks that game, if
And we
not
lost
more.
16-10.
Yeah. Um, mm, that would be kind of fun watching Lamar down there with that offense. Go with Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
Yeah. I
um,
think that team gets a lot better. You add Lamar
I
Jackson.
think, but no, but I think Mike McDaniel's he loves Tua. That's his guy. I don't think he would want to get rid of Tua. I think they have a strong working relationship. I think those two work well together. And I don't think McDaniel's is going to want to break that up. And if ownership is smart, I wouldn't do it. Now, no, if Tua and McDaniel's didn't get along, yeah, make that trade. See what's out there, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see the Ravens franchise tag Lamar Jackson, but that would be an interesting swap.
And finally, the Commanders. Now, is this last I heard the Commanders and Eric Bieniemy
Yes,
were close. Did that go through, or is
that
it
went
still?
through. Yeah,
It
that
did.
went
So
through.
Eric
Yeah,
Bieniemy
yep,
is an assistant head coach and offensive coordinator
yes,
in Washington, is what you're saying.
yes, that is
Okay.
official.
Now let me ask you this. And we've
Uh-huh.
said great things about Eric Bieniemy on the show in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any proof that he's even an amazing coach in that aspect? I mean, he's under, he was on a pretty damn good team coaching
Yeah,
under a pretty good coach who's good, do we know, Mike, that Eric Bieniemy is worth everything that all this talk that we've been hearing and saying for the past month or so? I mean, there's really no proof that he is going to go and do anything great, especially on a team like Washington.
yeah. I see where you're coming from, but if he had the trust of Andy Reid and the trust of Patrick Mahomes, that goes a long way.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think Andy Reid's gonna hire a guy just to sit there and not contribute in some fashion to have valued input. So I don't know his whole coaching career. I forget where he was, where he started his whole career from. Didn't he turn around Baylor or not Baylor, some small college? God dang it. Now I
I
gotta look it
don't
up.
I'm not sure. I don't
I can't
recall where
remember.
Bieniemy was prior
Yeah.
to. I liked him as a player, of course. I don't know much about his coaching. And like I said, and a lot of these guys, we just assume they could coach because they were
Yeah.
good football players, which I think.
Well, yeah, he was, oh God, Colorado running backs coach, UCLA running back coach, Vikings running back coach, Vikings, again, assistant head coach, offensive coordinator at Colorado. And he went to the Kansas City Chiefs, man. He's been there for the past couple of seasons from 2013 to 2017, then back 2018 to 2022. So I don't know. I don't know, but he's held in high regard in coaching circles. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Now see what he does with Sam Howell down there
In Kansas City, I seen video of Patrick Mahomes and his girlfriend or wife
wife.
at Disney
Mm-hmm.
World, Disneyland. He looked so annoyed with her. He looked like he would rather be somewhere else or at Disney with somebody else.
I go with him. Come on, Patrick.
Yeah, I would
we'll
too.
hang out, bro. We'll hang out. But no, back to Eric Bieniemy. We'll see what he can do with this offense. Give him free reign because I'm sure he probably had a huge hand in that offense down there in Kansas City. I don't think Andy Reid is going to let some guy just sit there and do nothing, could not contribute in a positive fashion. If he had stupid ideas over and over, I think this guy would have been kicked out long ago. But you have to remember though, there's other assistant offensive coordinators that worked for offensive head coaches that keep getting jobs, and this guy doesn't. So it's like, what's going on here? These guys that have the same credentials that really were just relaying plays. The enemy apparently just relaying plays. Why do these guys keep getting opportunities? He doesn't. Give him a shot. See what happens. Either he's going to fail or he's going to succeed. It's going to happen. Oh, I don't care.
Let me rain on your parade for just a moment. We all do know that the Washington franchise is a franchise where players go to die.
Yes.
This is my only concern. It's Washington.
He's going to go there. Yeah.
It's Washington. If he would have went to anywhere else, maybe 31 other franchises, I might have been okay with it.
Yeah.
But like I said, most players go to Washington to have their careers end, fall apart, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, Mike, to see what Eric Bieniemy could do with the offense down in Washington. I'll be watching that very close because, like I said, we like him. I like him, but Washington, I'm not sold on.
No, like just about any other team besides Washington and the Jets.
Right.
you're going to go there and die.
Absolutely. And also, Mike, one quick connection to the Super Bowl. Check this stat out that I pulled up. The last 17 quarterbacks to lose their Super Bowl debut never made it back to another one.
What?
The last 17 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut never made it back to another one. Do I think that could change with Philadelphia? I do think that could change with Philadelphia. But you know what? Over time, if you look back at some of these really good quarterbacks that took their team and lost, your Donovan McNabb, just go all the way down the line. Steve McNair, they never been back, Mike.
Oh man, that is insane. Well, you got to figure though too, like at that time in that 17-year window, look who like the quarterbacks were there that you had to go up against: Brady, Manning, Roethlisberger, Rodgers, Breeze.
Right.
You got like a who's who of NFL greats. These players had to go up against in these conferences. So right now you really have Mahomes and everyone else. So I can see it happen with Philly.
You know what? I like I said, I can't imagine that this guy isn't going to do anything the rest of his career. Talking about Jalen Hurts, of course. But that's very interesting. Very interesting numbers, Mike. I almost couldn't believe it when I pulled it up. I thought, wow. A couple more things, of course. Okay, the baseball player that we talked about, Jai Man Chow, he comes out and he says no hard feelings for the Pirates after being blocked for playing, by playing in the World Baseball Championship. So everything is cool apparently with him. I don't know the whole story on that, but he's cool with it. But
he's probably just saying that so he doesn't get traded or cut again.
And then
knowing Bob Nutting, he probably tried to send to North Korea, not know there's a difference.
And I tell you what, why don't you go tell everybody about the website, Mike, and then we'll get into this trivia of the day.
2Yinzers.com. It's the number 2 DUMYINZRS.com. And over there, we have links to everything that we're at. Well, for the most part, we have YouTube, Spotify, Anchor. You go on there. Any of those platforms takes us everywhere else you need for 2Yinzers. There's links to Facebook, Twitter's, email address, merchandise store, everything you need at 2Yinzers.com. Little finger gun action.
You know what I can't like? Yes. You know what I can't believe? I can't believe it's going to be 70 degrees in a couple of days here. Another day in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania in February. It's going to be 70 degrees here, I think, on Thursday or Wednesday or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I hate this weather. This is not right. This is not fair.
But Mike, yes, check it out, www.2Yinzers.com. We are on every day from 11 to 12 in the morning, Monday through Friday. We hope that everyone keeps continuing to check us out. We appreciate each and every one of you in the show that we do the day of. So, for example, today, this show will get uploaded on Spotify at 8 o'clock this evening in podcast form. If you only have time to listen to, maybe on the way to work, maybe at work in your earbuds, whatever the case may be, this show will be uploaded 8 o'clock tonight on Spotify. Check it out. And that is is what will happen every day of the week. Mike, you ready for some XFL trivia?
Oh, I am ready.
XFL trivia. Here we go. P, anybody want to participate? Here we go. Trivia of the day. XFL. Don't shout out the answer either. Just kind of wait for a second.
Oh, you're killing me.
Well, I don't have the music, and if you shout it out, then that if people are playing at home. So here we go. Who was the initial XFL MVP? I'm looking for XFL 1. Not in 2020 before COVID. Not this year, of course. I'm talking about 2000. What was it? 2001, somewhere right around there. XFL 1, first attempt. I'm looking for the MVP of the XFL in that season. Mike says he knows it.
I know it.
Lay low here for a minute. See if P comes through with an answer. I truly can't believe how warm it is here, Mike. I don't even know why I get this hoodie on.
I know. It's like I just looked. It's like 52 degrees in my studio. My lights are dying behind me. All right.
So here we go. Trivia of the day, everybody. XFL trivia. Who was the initial XFL MVP? Mike, that answer is
Tommy Machine. Or Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Gun Maddox.
Tommy Gun Maddox. Yeah, I forgot what they called him.
All right, that's your final answer.
My final answer.
Pete Horton says He Hate Me, which that was my MVP. I loved He Hate Me.
He Hate Me was the shit.
And then there was Tommy Maddox. I Hate He. Yes, Mike, Tommy Maddox. Let me go ahead and get you logged in here. Getting P on the He Hate Me. All right, everybody, here it is. Who was the initial XFL MVP back in the day from XFL 1? Mike says Tommy Maddox, and that is correct. Tommy Maddox was the MVP from XFL 1, who the next season or two, whatever it was, he came and became the Steelers' starting quarterback, going down with an injury against Baltimore early in the season, losing his job ultimately to the Hall of Famer Big Ben Roethlisberger. But yes, the answer, Mike, was Tommy Maddox. That is correct.
Thank you.
I tell you what, as goofy and out of sort as XFL was, I'd like to go back and watch some of that now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The sky cam that is used now in the NFL, that was an XFL invention.
Yeah, yes, it was. Remember the kickoffs where they would put the ball like on the 40, and then two guys would like race and knock each other over to try to get to the ball. Yeah, and that was how they decided the coin toss or something.
Yeah. Maddox started like what, 2 years, year and a half for the Steelers before Big Ben came along.
You know what? He was kind of promising at first. You remember he was
he was all right
around. He wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
And then he got paralyzed in the Tennessee game. Remember the Tennessee game where he got paralyzed?
Yeah.
And then it was like, is he going to come back? And then he comes back and he gets hurt against Baltimore, and that's what opened up the door for Big Ben. And the rest was history.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have anything before we take off, man?
Rhianna sniffed her crotch, and it was amazing.
There you have it, everybody. We're all going to go scratch our crotches and rub it underneath Mike's nose later on today. So if you want to join us, come on down. But no, we do want to thank everybody for checking us out. Tomorrow will be episode 250, Mike. 250. We're quarter of the way to 1,000. And also, I do think we're going to start experimenting a little bit over on Twitter with the Twitter Spaces, where you will be able to talk to us directly. I don't know when we're going to do it. It might be over the weekend. It might be before the show, after show, whatever it is. You will be able to talk to us directly and discuss what we might have talked about that day on the show, or things similar to that. So that is something that we are working on. Hopefully have that going here within the next week or so. So keep an ear open on that.
That would be awesome.
Everybody, for the two dumb Yinzers, Mike, Ryan, enjoy your day.